teaching. Okay. 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 So that's one case where the last minute I moved my motorbike as much as possible, and then the highlight just hit me, but I avoided the biggest injury because he was going to hit me. I was motorbike going like that, and he was going to hit me direct, and I moved, and he hit me like that. Yeah, so uh, realizing the consequence of accident at that last moment, you think the human can think very fast. That last moment I'm thinking very fast the consequence. Okay? Uh, the consequence of just letting him hit me, I know it's not a good idea at all. Okay, so I must try my best. Instead of he hitting me like that, he hit me like that. Okay, so another case was I was doing wiring in a house in Cebu. Okay, and then I was up in the roof. The ceiling has a hole, so you can go up the roof. But my ladder is not tall enough. So at the top of my ladder, I still need to somehow, like mountain climbing, a hole on the space between the cement blocks and try to go up a bit. And I fell. And if I fell down, my leg will be squashed on the ladder and then there'll be a lot of damage. I know there'll be a lot of damage if I just let go. Never mind fall. My body will be totally damaged. Okay. So what I did is I just like that, because the hole is, you see the hole, the ceiling, and then up there there's 3 feet of hollow blocks. Okay, there's 3 more feet of hollow blocks, and without cement. Okay, so it's rough. So I just like that and held, and I know the consequence of that. There'll be damage on my skin. Okay, it's all bloody lah, but at least I don't fall. Okay, and then the house owner put a ladder somehow, probably for me to step on it again, and then I went back to the ladder lah. So that last moment, you see, I can think very fast that no, it's not at all okay for me to fall down on that ladder. Okay, but this is a lesser injury. Okay, I just put like that, and there'll be definitely bleeding here, but it's a lesser injury than falling down a ladder. Okay, so so that saved me. I mean, of course, I was bleeding for about 2 weeks, but that saved me the worst case scenario lah, of falling on the ladder. That would probably have broken bones here and there. Okay, so you must consider all this lah in your daily thinking, which is the worst case. Okay, and then you decide, no, that alternative is too bad. Like I fall down ladder, the scenario will be just too bad. Okay, I think some of you experience it on the road lah. Road, somehow you press your brake suddenly, and then you survive hitting another car or something like that. Okay, so that's one more example lah. Okay, you must see the consequence lah. It's just like a boyfriend girlfriend. Sometimes I choose this boy or choose this girl. Maybe the consequence will be bad for me. It's similar to that lah. Okay. Sometimes you might think consequence is good. Okay lah, go ahead and get married. But if I choose, the consequence might be bad. Okay, maybe not a good idea. Okay. So it's similar to that lah. Okay. So you must think of the consequence of the real accident and the aftermaths. Okay, you're falling down a roof, but you somehow catch the gutter or something. Okay, it's very painful to catch the gutter because your hand very painful. But the alternative is much worse. Okay, to die, okay, but if you're half dead, that's a big problem. Okay, so somehow you must catch the gutter and somehow make sure you don't fall. Okay, uh, okay. I had a lot of experience because I was a contractor. One time doing live wiring of the overhead cable. I mean, not the 11 kV, the coming into a Dewa, doing a Dewa Sora wiring. Because the Dewa Sora basically they robo, they build a new one, and then they need to put back the incoming. So I pull the incoming myself. Then I was on the roof, and the roof was slippery. I had safety shoe, but I fell down. Sometime I had to hold the wire. Get a big shock from the wire is less than falling down. Okay, so because I knew I got shocked from electrical a lot. Okay, probably over 300 times. But I noticed that recently I almost never get shocked. Okay, so it's all experience lah. Okay, that's why you must have hands-on experience to learn the consequence. Okay, so as far as possible, I off before I start doing nowadays. Okay, uh, so off all the power before you do. And then how do you off? I have a hat with a torchlight. Torchlight. People say, "Hey, torchlight. You put it in your head, panas oh, it's very hot." Okay, you cannot put it in your head. It's too hot. Even LED, it becomes pretty hot. So that's why I have like a baseball hat, which is actually a hard hat. It's a helmet. Okay, it has safety also. Okay, and then put the light on the head on that, and then that's the proper way to do wiring. Now, certain small things in electrical you cannot do without that thing. Especially a simple thing like screwing in a socket point. The screw sometimes doesn't go inside the thread. Okay. If without a torchlight to see where the screw going, you really cannot screw the screw. Okay. So you really need a light. Okay. Okay. That's roughly going in. Okay. Then only you start screwing. Okay. So yeah. So you must have a light lah. Okay. On your head. If you seriously want to do electrical. Okay? And then electrical you normally have to do when the power is off. So where's the light? You don't have light. Okay. So you need a light on your head. Okay. The best is the hard hat. I got it from Kuching lah. Kuching, there's a famous shop. Okay. Yung Kong is a famous shop. I can tell you, if some of you from Kuching, at least you can go there. Their parts tend to be the higher quality. You got the lower end, middle, and high. Yung Kong tend to be the high quality. There are some shops, hardware store, they sell only the low quality one. Okay, so you learn this from experience lah. Okay, and it's a very important experience, especially if you decide to be a contractor. That shop only sell good one. A bit expensive, but never mind. If it is good, it's worth it. Okay, a lot of people don't understand the idea of good quality. My first experience growing up in Kuching, I never knew there was such thing as good quality. I know every time you buy a spanner, a screwdriver, for example, after 2 turn, the thread already. If it's Phillips after 2 turn, it will break. So I thought that was standard. People didn't make anything better. And then when I went to US, the first time I see, these tools never fail. They make tools in US that never fail at all. And I don't buy. I cannot, because I went to US without money. Yeah, I went there, mopped the floor, washed dishes, and survived. So I only buy from Sunday market. They have their Sunday market, and then part of Sunday market is selling. People sell their old things. Okay, so I buy secondhand tools from. Tell you, these secondhand tools, probably the guy who use it until he don't want to use anymore, probably 20-30 years, and still it is perfect condition. Okay, That's when I first saw tools that are so good. Okay. Then I come back to Kuching, and then I try to find which shop is selling the same quality as that. So there are very few lah. So I can name within one hand lah the top shops in Sarawak. Okay. There's a Wiyang. Okay, there's one. Sarabasi, another one. Yung Kong. And then in Bintulu, there's one meter shop. Impere, Miri, Sarawak Electrical. That's it lah. It's about 5 shops lah. The whole Sarawak lah. Okay, but you know me who already understand what's veneer quality, I'll never buy anything lower quality. Okay, this one the TK and Cebu sometimes they sell some high quality. Okay, and for electrical parts, I only get from one shop. Okay, there's you go down from UTS, you go to Unicity and pass Unicity all the way to the end. There's a junction. At the junction, you take a left, and then you keep going until you see one semi-D factory shop. It's named Panasonic on top. You just go in there. All electrical technicians in Cebu get from there. I mean, I think most lah. But that is really a electrical technician shop. You don't see normal everyday householders going there. Okay, so the serious electrical people go there. Okay, so that shop, they have to sell the good one, because these electrical technicians, they know what is good. Okay, so they look at it, this one, okay. If they see this one bad, really bad quality, they'll never come back to the shop again. So this shop is they know they can totally lose the customer by selling bad stuff. Okay, so, and then they are not like normal householder who don't know what is good and bad. The senior electricians, they know what is good and what is bad. Okay, and these people's customers are the senior electricians, so they don't dare to sell anything bad. You see, you might think, hey, why are they concerned about selling the good thing? You see, say you're an electrician, you go and get a bad, say a simple socket point. It happened to me one time. The bad ones, I did in Bautla one project, and then in the last time I went to Kopitiam. The Kopitiam asked me, hey, can you repair this on the way when you finish your job in the evening? Okay lah. So that lunchtime I went to the normal shop, because Bau town don't have any electrical shop. So I go normal shop lah, buy a switch, 5-gang switch. Evening I install it. I tell you, first time already turn forever, the screw. How to use? That bad quality. Okay. Whereas the brand that I use, I only use one brand. I mean, there are a few others, but mostly Snyder lah, okay, that I use. Snyder brand, I can turn until not only my maximum hand force, I use my body again, and still won't break. That's that's how much different in the quality, okay, for Snyder. Okay, and I tell you, I was doing a bit of wiring in this house, this Cebu house here, last few days now, because some things already get spoiled. I tell you, every socket point or switch point that I open in this house, I can turn sometimes 3 or 4 more turns. 3 or 4 more turns I can turn with a screwdriver, test band. Okay, that's how badly they do it. Most of the wires, actually, you can just pull and it will come out. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know how they can be so bad. Definitely never learn any electrical. You see, this one question I asked you in the exam. Okay. Tightening of screws in electrical is one of the most important things in electrical. because if you don't tighten, there'll be arcing. You see, it's not touching properly. Maybe a bit touching. The nut is touching a little bit only. Okay, so it's a high amp, but the contact point is actually just a bit. So there'll be arcing, arcing. Okay, and arcing will eventually be a fire. One of the most common causes of fire is not properly tightened screws. Okay, so your screwdriver must be a really good ones. You must find screwdriver that really fits properly. Okay, uh, okay, and then the good ones, they're hardened. Okay, I haven't found a shop that's selling the really good ones in Cebu yet. Okay, Kuching, I know a few shops, but the really good ones, the tip is very well hardened. Okay, such that no matter the whole life, it can last more than a human life. You use it for a whole human life, and the tip doesn't get damaged. Okay, uh, so tools are very important lah. Okay, the quality. You see, I give you an example of quality. Okay, the advantage of quality. Let me show you. My son is graduated already lah, electrical. So when he was about 2 years old or 1 year plus, he wanted a toy car, truck. So I bought him a truck, Mattel, from Paksan Kuching. Okay, Mattel brand, Paksan Kuching. Okay, 50 ringgit. Those days, 50 ringgit quite a high amount lah. I don't know, man, good quality, Mattel. Okay, so I bought. So my father bought for him a truck. Okay, same truck. Okay, 12 ringgit. Okay, 2 hours, wheel broke off. The wheel broke off. 2 hours. This one, now my son is 24 years old. My son is 24 years old. Okay. The truck is still in my house. And he really tried his best to break it because he wanted a new one. He knows that I will never buy a new one until the old one is broken. So he throw it across. I've seen him when he was, a small little kid. He throw all across the house, try to break it, didn't break, and he sit on it. A truck is about this big, a toy truck. He'll sit on it, try his best to damage it. Cannot break. Okay. If you count the cost, okay, this one is 12 ringgit. 2 hours later, hey, Dad, my truck broke. I need new truck. Say I'm a rich guy. Okay, I'm not rich, but if I'm a rich guy, okay, oh, my son, truck broke. I need to buy a new one. So 24 years times 365 times 24 hours. How many truck I have to buy? Okay. Divide by 2 lah. Okay, because every 2 hours break, right? And times 12. Okay, so $1 million. Look at that. I'm not cheating here. 24. My son is already 24. The truck is still in my house. Okay. 365. 24 divided by 2 because it lasted 2 hours, not 1 hour. Okay. Okay. So every 2 hours I have to buy. Okay. Times 12 ringgit. 1 million or 1.2 million. Okay. The price of a truck, if I had to buy every 2 hours, is 1.2 million. Okay, like maybe there's an exaggeration. Time that he's sleeping, he won't ask for truck, right? Maybe we can divide by 2. Okay. Okay. No, he doesn't sleep half the day. He sleep 1/3 of the day. Times 1/3 of the day. Times 2/3 of the day. Times 2/3 of the day. So 2/3 of the day he asks me for truck. The rest 1/3 is sleeping. Okay. Okay. So 2/3 of the day he asked me because 1/3 of the day is sleeping. 840,000, almost a million. Okay. Whereas this one is 50 ringgit. So you see why quality is important. The cheap one that you think is cheap is actually very expensive. Okay. This is a simple case of a toy truck in the house. Yeah. When you talk about industry, you use low quality. I can tell you this one hotel, big hotel in Kuching. Nobody want to rent it anymore. I mean, nobody want to, the Tauke built the hotel and then he rent to different corporations like Holiday Inn to rent the building, right? Now nobody wants to rent the building. Okay, the famous hotels people are Holiday Inn, Hilton, Four Seasons, this kind of they are famous worldwide. And they do hotels lah. Yeah. So one of these groups will want to rent a hotel, but they don't want to rent a hotel. Yeah, because they know quality is bad. That hotel is millions of dollars, totally gone down the drain. Okay, so uh, that's as far as I know, I seen because I passed by the hotel quite long. I see no one is renting it. Yeah, so that uh, you see that is millions of dollars just gone down the drain. Okay, whereas if you build a hotel well, there are some hotels in European countries 100, 200 years still a hotel. Okay, small little hotel but very well built, 200 years still hotel. Okay, and this hotel is a big hotel. Okay, probably I wouldn't be surprised even 100 million. Yeah, it's totally gone. Okay, so that's why uh, you must look at quality that way. Okay, uh, it is people think the cheaper thing is better. Actually, the expensive thing is better. Okay, and then when I first went to the factory, because my 1 year in Cisco was in safety, second year was in control room. So they know I know a bit of safety, so they put me in safety committee. Then I suggest buy Red Wing safety shoe. Okay, buy Red Wing safety shoe. Okay, why? The whole oil and gas use Red Wing. You go to Shell, Petronas, they all use Red Wing. Okay, I have right now. Okay, I got 1, 2, still surviving 2 Red Wing lah. Okay, uh, uh, I tell you, it's so much more comfortable, and then it lasts forever. My one Red Wing is about when I first came. My brother, because my brother oil and gas, he gave it to me. Okay, so that was 29 years. Okay, 29 years. My Red Wing still working. Okay, nothing happened to it. I sometimes when I go to construction site, because I do charity work, I mix the cement. Use my leg, my safety shoe, red wing, put inside. I use my leg to mix the cement. Okay, not only the spade. I use my leg also go inside there, mix it. Still alive. Okay, and it's very comfortable. But I don't know why they go and bought Red Wing. That time was moment now. Hello. Yeah. Ah. Oh, okay. Oh, utas lah. Oh, okay. Sekarang saya ada kelas nanti lepas kelas saya buat. Dah. Okay. Okay. So the company had some guy there who decided to buy. Okay. He buy 80 ringgit safety shoe. Okay. Very uncomfortable. I tell you, when you buy safety shoe, you must watch out for this. Some safety shoe in the market, I tried. And because when I was in Cisco, they gave us safety shoe. Cannot use one. I mean, I tell you, you use for a short while, you just cannot stand it. It's just not comfortable. I don't know. They don't put enough research in how to make good shoes. Okay. I can. Luckily, I don't have to wear all the time because when I was safety, I need to go and inspect the generators. Inside the generator room, I must wear safety shoe. So luckily, from my car, I change the safety shoe, walk inside the generator, come out. Oh, I'm done. I cannot stand wearing the safety shoe. That bad. Just go buy the best safety shoe. But this is my factory, Western Digital. Okay. Okay. So Western Digital, Red Wing, 300. This one, 80 ringgit. Very uncomfortable. 6 months gone. I tell you, I'm an engineer because we have to wear it. Once they decided everyone must wear safety shoe, we engineers also have to wear safety shoe. 6 months is gone. Okay. And I'm not doing the heavy job of the workers. I'm just an engineer. I'm not really, I mean, the workers have to stand the whole day, 12 hours a day. Okay. And then sometime a bit of wet environment and all that. Mine goes after 6 months. After 6 months, it's gone. Okay. This one is 300, very comfortable, lasts pretty much forever. Which one is cheaper? Okay. 80 times how much? Okay. So 300 is 3 times more expensive, but it lasts far more than, because this one only lasts 6 months. If three, okay, this one four lah, make it four. So 2 years lah, 2 years. This one lasts how many years? 29 years or comfortable again. Okay. So that's why it doesn't make sense to buy the cheaper one. Okay. Very uncomfortable and lasts very short time. Okay. So but that guy got his way lah. But we all retrenched anyway. That guy who made a decision also retrenched. But I think he got wrong ideas in his life. No one trained him. He's older than me. Okay. But I don't know why. You see, I'm training you on this kind of thing, so at least you try to make better decision next time when you go to work. Okay. He was older than me, and from actually he's a colonel in the military. Okay, but he didn't get educated on this simple logic. Okay, of quality. Okay, so uh, so the you see the mistake he made here. The red wing safety shoe is 300 at that time. Now it's about 800 in Malaysia. Okay, that was that time. 300, and it can last 29 years. Very comfortable. The Alang safety shoe is 80 ringgit. It can last. I mean, it is 4 times more expensive. Okay, the red wing is 4 times more expensive. Okay, okay. Okay, so it is 4 times more expensive, but can last. It's very comfortable and can last for 29 years. I mean, 29 years, I still have it. I think it lasts much more than that. Okay. And I've seen, having worked in a factory also, I've seen a lot of things like this. Okay. Growing up in a city, we don't see these things much. You know, there's a thing called electro-pneumatic valve. Okay. There's a brand called Humphrey. At least 30 years, okay. The Humphrey brand, 30 years I was working there, I never seen even one fail. In 30 years, I mean, no, because the factory was there before I started. I mean, the part was bought before, but I can estimate about 30 years old. Okay. And the machines are old. Okay. And 30 years, not even one fail. The SMC brand is a Japanese brand. Japanese tend to be good, but in this case, 6 months fail. Okay. Every 6 months, you have to buy new one. Okay. So there are not many people selling these high quality things. Like I told you, the shops in Sarawak selling this high quality thing, I can only name 5. Okay, the whole Sarawak. Okay, but once you get this, they last forever. You see, like fan, I only buy Panasonic. Okay, my whole house electrical equipment, I only buy Panasonic. In those days, it was national. Why? Because when I first got my job in Cisco, I want to buy my parents' present, so I bought them a washing machine, Singer brand. 2 weeks later, the knob came out. Hey, play. 2 weeks can come out. Never mind, I thought maybe freak accident. By 6 months, it's gone. The Singer brand washing machine is gone. Cannot use. Okay, I tried to repair, cannot. Okay, so if I buy national, I tell you, my national machine after 14 years in my own house, that was my parents' house. My own house I bought, and then 14 years it lasted, and then it fell. You see, the drum of the washing machine, it's not the motor turning the drum. I think that's probably for a safety issue, because if the motor, which is electrical, turning a drum, what if because the drum is like that and like that, right? So if there is a bocor, I mean, leaking somewhere in the drum, it'll go obviously to the bottom point, right? And bottom point is the motor, electrical, and it called a short circuit, right? So obviously they don't want the motor to be at the bottom there. Okay. So you have a drum or washing machine, and so they put a gear at the bottom there. Okay, they put a gear at the bottom there to turn the drum. Okay, and then the motor is separate. Okay, so uh, something like this lah. You see the problem with putting the motor here. Any holes in any of this whole drum, which is full of water, washing your clothes, right? It will drop down and reach your motor. That's why you don't want to put your motor there, right? Short circuit and then householder die, a big issue with the company, right? So that's why they always design it this way. Okay. So this gear is for the Panasonic or National. Okay. The Panasonic gear is plastic. After 14 years, I have it in my school in Kuching. I have a school in Kuching. I show all my students, look at that. 14 years and a plastic gear, not damaged at all. There's a plastic gear here. After 14 years. Okay. 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 After 14 years, the machine spoiled, but the gear, which is plastic, there's not even a scratch on the plastic gear. Okay. So you see, this Panasonic and these big people who are quite famous in the industry, like Panasonic, their quality is very different. Lah. The outside might look the same, you know. You buy a XYZ brand and Panasonic, outside look the same. Sometimes outside of the XYZ look even more impressive. But what you see inside is totally different quality, you know. I mean, to make for human to make a gear with a lot of force, you know, because you put all your cloth in there, quite heavy kilogram there, right? Plus the water, how many kilo is that? At least 50, 60 kilo. Maybe lah, okay. Yeah, I think 50 easy to be 50 kilo. Plus the water, I think easy to be 50 kilo. Okay. All that weight being turned by this plastic gear and nothing happened to it. That's a super quality, man. Okay. So even drill. One time my factory gave us free gift. Yeah. So drill. I drilled 2 hole, gone. How can, man? So I open it up. What's going on there? So the drill, you see, the drill doesn't turn the drill bit. See, this is a drill bit. The drill turns a gear turns. I mean, all drill are designed this way. I don't know exactly for this design. I don't know exactly why, but I open all drill it this way. This turns a gear turns this one, and this one turns the bit. Okay. So when I open up that alang drill, this teeth, I think one piece of the teeth, you know, the gear teeth is broken. Gear teeth one broken enough, it cannot turn. Okay. Drill bit one teeth broken, cannot turn anymore. Okay. So that's why it cannot turn. So I see why did it break. So I find out. You see the Hitachi, I have a Hitachi also. Uh, okay. So Hitachi, on this side, they got a metal ball bearing at one end, and this side also another metal ball bearing. The alang alang one that they give me free gift, this plastic housing. There's no metal bearing. It's a plastic housing here, and here also plastic housing. Okay, no bearing. Okay, and then the whole structure here. Sorry, something like that, lah. Okay, most of structure here is actually metal. Outside is plastic, but a big portion of this structure here is metal. Yeah. So you see the outside of the two drill, even the sound it makes almost the same. Inside is totally different. Okay. Imagine this. This metal, whereas the cheap one, everything is plastic. No bearing here, just the plastic housing. Here also plastic housing. Okay. So that's why you must see that there's a big difference in quality inside. Okay. Uh, and then and another way you can tell, because sometimes you cannot go to people's shop and open their things. They won't allow you to open things in the shop, right? So one way to tell is you go to internet and check. Okay, this company survived a long time or not? Survived a long time, and maybe even 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 100 years. Most probably that company is good. Why? If 100 years they survive with 40 product, they won't survive with 40 product for 100 years. People will finally find out their product useless. They won't buy anymore. Okay. If you see like Panasonic, probably 100 years. I don't know how many years Panasonic, because before the name was National. Okay. Uh, uh, I have a fan in my school just to show my students a fan like this from my father's house. I tell you, I can't even imagine how old that is. I think at least 1970. Yeah. Okay, I make it 1980 lah. 1985. About 37 years old. Still running in my school. Okay. Panasonic. Okay. Normally fan like this, because fan like this have a capacitor. So definitely capacitor will fail. That fan capacitor also didn't fail. Okay. Normally if your home fan, the weakest point is a capacitor. So you change capacitor, generally it will work again. This one, 37 years, didn't even change capacitor, nothing changed. Okay. Most electronic, because I was repairing parts. I was running the workshop in my factory the last few years, and most parts they fail due to capacitor. Okay, you change capacitor, generally they work. Okay, because normally capacitors are the thing that has to fail. Okay, that's the weakest point in most equipment. Okay, like aircon, household aircon. My school aircon gone, and then I just go and change. There's two capacitors there. One big, one small, one black one big silvery one. Work. I mean, the aircon was quite a big one because for my school. It saved me a tons of money just by capacitor only. Yeah. So you must know lah. Yeah. Don't think quality is just nothing. Our laptops or your laptops, Dell lah. Must buy Dell. Okay. One of my daughter decide no lah. Everyone Dell, because my whole family I buy Dell. So all my children going to university, three of them lah. So and then my wife also all buy Dell, but my daughter said no, I want HP. Definitely hurt. She is the one laptop the fastest to spoil lah. Okay, so that's why I stick to Dell. I know other people buy the brand, but I have a Dell in my house. One my oldest Dell is like uh, I use calculator to computer. 15 years. 15 years, my oldest girl. Still working. Not so good, but still can play YouTube. Okay. 15 years old. Okay. So safety is very critical. Safety is life and death. You buy a safety harness from alang people, you fall down and die. Oh, okay. You don't take chance on this kind of thing. Okay. Because I got all the license for overhead wiring and all that. We are depending totally on our safety harness now. Our whole body is not holding anything. My leg not holding anything. We're on top of the pole. If that safety harness not built properly, I go down. Even during exam time, I fall down because they have a practical exam, right? I fall and die, man. No way I can survive such a high fall. Okay. So this kind of thing, you must have the best quality. Okay. I mean, people parachute, okay. Parachute, normally there's two parachute, right? Okay. Don't buy alang people, alang quality. You must get the very best one. There's one guy who died. Two parachute both failed. Yeah. There was something wrong lah. Maybe sometimes they are sabotage also lah. Yeah. But you see, even a simple knife like this, I bought from the shop. The from UTS going to University on halfway there's a bookshop. Okay, on the left, on the right. Sorry, they sell some high quality knife like this. I know this brand. They're a very high quality brand. Okay. Okay. I cannot focus. Okay. So you see, I don't mind. You can get cheap knives like this for maybe even 7 ringgit, 8 ringgit. It's 30 over ringgit. I don't mind. If they can give me quality, I don't mind buying the right one. Okay. Okay. So I've only about 2 or 3 of that. And because the advantage of this is it doesn't take much space. It's thin, so some of my toolbox don't have much space, so I like a thin one. Okay. So quality is very, very important. Safety shoes, helmets. You go and buy, say you end up maybe a safety officer or maybe even manager or some company, and then you go and decide to buy safety helmet. But you didn't go and try yourself. And then your workers, maybe thousands of workers, all wearing your terrible safety helmet. What output? You go and calculate the output. The output defect due to the bad safety helmet. Like me, I told you my safety shoes Cisco gave me, I can only use for maximum 1 or 2 hours. Okay. After that, my leg too painful. I just cannot stand. Okay. But I'm an engineer. Luckily, I don't have to wait a whole day. A normal worker, after 2 hours, he can take out his shoe and relax. I don't have to do work. Why is it? This is so stupid. Give me a stupid shoe. Why I have to do work for them? I go and relax somewhere, lepak somewhere where there's no camera. Okay. Okay. So this will be the consequence lah. And then you don't get the output from the worker. See, that worker, if he work full day, maybe can make you. I tell you, workers make a lot of money. Okay, can make you 500 ringgit, but because you've got bad safety shoe, he can only make you 80 ringgit. You see, you must think that way, lah. Okay. You see, like I showed you the calculation of the damage done by one small finger cut in the first class. Okay, what the worker produce for factory is huge. They pay the worker only basic pay only plus OT lah. I mean, actually our pay was quite high because of OT, mostly because of OT. Okay, but what he produced for the factory is hundreds of thousands of dollars or US dollars. Okay, we have a sister factory in Japan. Okay, the sister factory in Japan pay the same worker doing the same thing 50,000 per year. 50,000 per year, which is ringgit how much? 200. Okay. So the factory in Japan doing exactly what we're doing in Kuching, paying 50,000 per year for the workers, which is 200,000 ringgit or 16,000 per month. I tell you, how many people in Malaysia get this kind of salary? Okay, Dato only can get this kind of salary. Okay, but they're doing exactly what our workers in Kuching doing for how much? Basic in Kuching 900. So actually, so the basic salary is only 900. Okay, but I mean they get 40, so it comes up to quite a bit. Some of them with 40 they can make even 6,000 per month because they work 40 non-stop. Okay, but the basic is 900. The Japanese basic 16,000. Okay, okay lah. The cost of living in Japan is high, but still, I'm sure it is still much more than what, even if you count that one, the Japanese is still making more lah. Okay, okay, so uh, that's why you must consider all this when you decide on things when you go to work. Okay, uh, the worker make a lot of money. Okay, so if you make him comfortable, he can produce more for you. Okay, this is a concept mostly started in America. Okay, I saw a movie one time. The prisoners of war from Germany. They are asked to work, but the manager of I think some factory or farms can hire the prisoner of war Germans to work for them. But this farm, I remember as a farm, he buy hat for them. Why buy hat for them? They're prisoner of war. Prisoner of war should be tortured. That's, I don't know. That's probably the thinking those days. But no, I make them comfortable. They can make more money for me. Okay, so they'll be happy. They can make more money for me. See, that's the thinking of the farmer. Okay, okay. So uh, always the more comfortable worker is more producive and more productive, and they can make more money for you too. Okay, so I mean, you might think this is a small thing, but I tell you, I've seen a lot of people in industry who don't have this logic. Like this guy who buy the 60 ringgit safety shoe and cause a lot of problems. You see, the 60 ringgit safety shoe, okay, 60 ring, oh no, 80 ringgit safety shoe, is not just the not comfortable. Every 6 months change. 6 months change, you have to get new safety shoe. Downtime, the worker have to go and collect new safety shoe. That's during working time, it's not during off days. That time of he going to collect safety shoe, you have to count. He could be making so much more money. Okay. And then you got to hire the person who give out the safety shoe. The recording time, all this you have to count. Okay. So there's a lot of mistakes made lah. I mean, for me, of course, for this particular case, I have very big suspicion this guy was somehow taking some corruption money lah. It happens lah. But I mean, for others not to see that he's taking corruption, for me, immediately I knew like he's taking corruption money. That's why he's making that decision. Okay, maybe the guy selling him the 80 ringgit shoe was giving him some cut. But I see it, and not enough engineers see it. Okay, so I'm training you to see this kind of things. Okay, if you see something like this, lah, someone if you're making a decision like this, there must be some corruption somewhere. Okay, but if enough engineers see it and it's very obvious, that guy also won't dare to do it. Someone will tell him, "Hey, come on, man! It's very obvious you're taking some corruption money. Can you stop this?" Okay, you see. So that's why I'm training you on these kind of things. Okay, if enough people can understand this, even the guy trying to do corruption will not do it. Okay, because it's very obvious. Okay. Sometimes I don't know about other people, but for me, it's so obvious. Anytime someone do corruption, yeah, you don't have to say I'm doing corruption or anything. I know you're doing corruption. Okay, it's so obvious. Okay, uh, uh, it, I don't know. Like for me, it's just so obvious. I know exactly who is doing corruption. I haven't done any corruption. Uh, I mean, it's just not my nature, lah. Okay, but I can see obviously someone doing corruption. Sometimes the voice also, when they talk about it, the voice also changes a bit. Okay, they're not talking normally, then you know lah, they're doing some corruption. Okay, so I've seen all this lah. I'm 58 already, so I can see. And then what happened to all these people who do corruption? Okay, because I was in a hands-on team. Okay, my last position in the factory, I was a hands-on team, because most engineers are actually computer engineers. Okay, your electrical, civil, I mean, no civil in my factory, electrical, mechanical, or chemical, they're mostly working on the laptop. I mean, those days, mostly desktop. Because they're mostly graph engineers in the factory, a lot of graph engineers. Okay, they monitor the graph. Hey, this graph is a bit out. My statistic also show this graph is out. Okay, most of engineers are doing that. There's only about 20 of us who are actually holding spanners, okay, and repairing machines, okay, writing programs, software. Only about 20 of us out of about 200. Okay. I mean, of course, some of them are not engineers, they are like business degree and all that. Okay. So out of this 20, I mean, I'm only one section of the, because we got other departments. So my section, maybe about 10 engineers. And the boss is one guy. I know he's doing corruption. I know the boss is doing corruption. And his favorite engineer is not an engineer. He was promoted from not even diploma in polytechnic. It was Sigil Polytechnic. Okay, the boss promoted him to be senior engineer, same pay as me. I got master also, no use. That time I didn't have my PhD. Okay, so he became my boss. I mean, not directly. That Sigil guy, they cannot put officially as the boss of engineer because the top management might question. But he's the boss. Okay, we all know he's the boss. Okay, because the big boss who has a degree say he's a boss. Okay, I must listen to him. Okay, why? Because that guy helped the big boss take money from corruption. Okay, so what happened to them? That big boss now got heart problem or something like that. But he quit his job, okay, because some heart problem, something. Okay, the technician who became a senior engineer, very poor. I found him because we're all retrenched. So I found him outside somewhere, very poor, no money. Okay. So I guess crime doesn't pay. In the long run, crime doesn't pay. It might pay in a short term and all that, but I know there are some big tauques in Cebu and all that who are former criminals, but in the long term, it doesn't pay. Okay. My father was gaji only 400. Technician telecom, a World War II soldier, and end up technician in telecom. He was in Cebu. From Singapore, transferred to Cebu during British time. And then he was handling the airport, which is basically the side road of UTS is the airport runway. Okay. Okay. And then in KLT, on the side of KLT, where they sometimes have some functions or sell vegetable or something, that's the control tower of the airport. Okay. So my father was transferred there from Singapore in 1958. Okay. Okay. So gaji slowly go up from 200, will slowly go up to 400 before he retired. I mean, before retire, they give him a promotion to 1,000 just for a short while and then retire. Okay. So no money, no power. He got 5 children. Like me, he sent me one-way ticket. But not that he sent me. Because I was working. After obviously I didn't go to university. I worked, and whatever work I got, I give him all my money. I just need enough money for my petrol, for my motorbike, and food for lunchtime. Okay, all my money I give to my father. So my father gave me one-way ticket to go to US. Okay, uh, then I mop the floor, wash dishes, survive lah. So like that lah. All my brothers something like that, some similar story. So what are we now? Yeah, five of us. We are all five engineers, all millionaires. Okay, multi millionaires. Okay, I'm just a millionaire, but my brothers are super rich lah. Okay, so I mean, without any kantau, without cheating, we made it lah. Okay, no cheating anywhere. In fact, how my brother got very high is because they didn't cheat. So like Petronas, they find who is honest guy, and they promote him up. Okay, they see any guy who totally no record of corruption. Okay, that's a guy they promote. So high level of Petronas are very clean. That's why Petronas quite a successful company. There might be low level who do the corruption, all that, but the high level are very clean. Okay. I mean, of late, government has started disturbing a bit lah, especially during Najib's time. They disturb the company a bit, but generally they make good decisions lah. Okay. Yeah, one or two bad decisions I heard of, but maybe not due to corruption, but mainly due to lack of knowledge. Okay, because when you're up there, that's a problem with, you be a boss and then you don't talk to the small guys. That is one of the biggest cause of wrong decisions. As far as I'm concerned, if a boss don't talk to smaller guys, they will make mistakes. Okay, they have to talk to small guys. Yeah, I can show you a simple example. The Malaysian, this was much before you were born. The Malaysian Navy ordered a ship from Italy. Okay, so big time, because I think one of the first ship Malaysia bought. Okay, Navy ship coming out of the river. Stop. Why? There's a bridge there. So they got to cut the top of the ship, cross the bridge, and put it down. If there's a small motorbike guy working in that company, hey, I cross this bridge every day. I think this bridge, the ship cannot cross. I tell my boss, listen, okay, you got to do something about this, so the boss don't make a mistake. Okay, you know how much you need to cut a ship, completed ship. It's not just cutting the metal. You got to cut all the wires, all the harness. Pipes, pneumatic pipes, all have to cut now. It's cost millions. I don't think that company made a profit at all making this ship for Malaysia. Okay, so you see, if the boss of that company has talked to one small guy, that small guy can easily estimate this one doesn't look right now. I don't think the ship I'm building can cross through this bridge. Every day I pass by this bridge. Okay, that's it. Okay, and my secret of working, I do a lot of projects in my factory that make my machine very successful. Almost all my projects that I worked on a machine is from the lowest guy gives me the idea. You see, they might not be very good. Sometimes Form 3 just barely pass Form 3. I think later they made a rule that must barely pass Form 5 lah. But I think the initial batch was barely pass Form 3 enough lah. But later it must be barely pass Form 5 for the lowest worker. Yeah. They might not be educated, but they are at a machine the whole day. How can you beat that guy? He didn't get educated probably due to various reasons. You guys are lucky. I was lucky. I struggled to go to university. He could be a very smart guy, but due to various circumstances, he cannot get educated. Okay, but he's at a machine the whole day. How can anybody's knowledge be more than him? My knowledge, I know I cannot be more than him. He is at the machine the whole day. Every small movement of the machine he knows. He knows the sound of the machine. Slightly different sound, he knows something is wrong. Okay, like me, you see, when I build a circuit, when you do charge man, you have to do charge man. I mean, start data auto train circuit. You have to complete it during the 2-hour exam, practical exam. I know the sound. You on it, I know the sound of it. If it's a different sound, I know the circuit is wrong. Okay. Okay. So that's how, because I've been doing this circuit, I've been teaching this course wiring judgment for a long time. Okay. So I know what sound should come out. Slightly different sound, I know the circuit is wrong. Okay. So this guy working the whole day on the machine, he hear a different sound, he knows something is wrong. Okay, he will troubleshoot. Maybe he is not authorized to do certain things. He'll call a senior guy, but everyone has listened to his ideas. Okay, he might seem like a very dumb guy. Some of them behave also a bit dumb, but I mean, it could be due to various circumstances. They didn't get educated, and then they feel, sometimes they feel a bit uh, downtrodden because they were not educated. But there's a lot of circumstances that cause them to be uneducated. So they also feel, they behave also in a bit, kind of dejected manner. But I mean, he's a human being. I'm sure, given the correct circumstances, he could be a PhD also. Okay, so that's why all my projects, one of my machine, because I was in charge of one row of machine one time in the factory. So I walk from one end to another end of the factory. Oh, this one, oh, I can hear all different sounds. Crash here, crash there, crash there. Okay, and then they'll call me right through, because when I was in charge of the machine, that means I work normal shift. Normal shift means 8 to 5. 2 o'clock, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., people call me. This one down, that one down. How? Okay. I cannot even sleep properly. Okay. So I start working on projects. I did 27 different projects. Okay. By the time I finish all my project, nobody called me at all. My machine never down. Okay. Okay. And where is all that project from? From the workers. They tell me, this one maybe, if you do this one, maybe that will work. You do this one, maybe that will work. I get all my ideas from them. Yeah. I just implemented it because maybe I have the power to implement it because I'm an engineer in charge of it. Okay. They didn't have the power to implement it. Okay. They gave me ideas. I modify a bit the ideas, and then I get it working. Okay. I mean, I read other people also. There was one famous white man also in a famous factory, I think Nestle or something. Okay, he was a big report about him in Straits Times, Straits Times, right? I think so. Okay, the Malaysian main newspaper, English one. So one whole page about him because he's a very successful manager. Okay, he said exactly that you must talk to the lowest guy. He's a white man, but he talked to all the lowest guys possible in the factory. That's how he became the top guy. I had one guy in my factory in Kuching, Kevin Tompkins. Okay. Okay. Kevin Tompkins. He's an American guy. He fought in Vietnam War soldier. I think in high tech, I wrote a paper that is going to be published soon. You must operate like a war. Seriously. Okay. The best description I can give of operating a high tech factory is you are in a constant war. Okay. In war, you make mistakes and then enemy can take over. In high tech, was it? Other competitors take over your market share. Okay. So until you become very good, then they cannot defeat you. Okay. High tech factory like Western Data and Kuching, it is like a war. Okay. because it's not like working in government. I was working in Cisco. I tell you, Cisco was government at the time. It was really government at the time. People don't work. Seriously. I know people who I never see them work. Okay. Because it was like government, and then they come to work, they talk for a whole day and then go back. Okay. So most of the people who work at that time were people who really want to work, like the engineers who come back. Because in Sarawak those days, there are not many job opportunities. And then people, Sarawakians who go overseas, because they are top students, England, Australia, USA, they come back. Only place they can work is Cisco. No other place to work if they want to stay in Sarawak. So you find a lot of very top people of Sarawak all in Cisco. Okay. The guy next to me was Sarawak number 2 in Form 6. Okay. What's his name? Chong something, I forgot his name. But he was number 2. Okay. Chong Chiu Vi. I forgot lah. Some Chong I remember. Okay. He was number 2 in Sarawak. Okay. In Form 6. So they're like this kind of people a lot lah. All over Cisco. Okay. That's why Cisco tend to make very good decisions. In fact, it's very rare to find decisions that Cisco make worldwide. Okay. You see our gas turbine in Bintulu, the pipe coming from offshore straight to the gas turbine. How cheap can you get? Okay, it's 3 cents per kilowatt hour. Okay, because you can see the pipe. I went many times to that power station. The gas from the pipe from offshore fields coming straight into the to the power station. The coal mine in Balingian, the power plant is on top of the coal mine. I mean, that's a super decision. Okay, you don't need trucks to move the coal from somewhere else. Okay, so and then we are building a lot of hydro, which is free. Hydro practically free. So that's why Cisco make a lot of very good decisions, which is very rare in worldwide power systems. If you look at most other cases, a lot of politics involved. This manager don't like that manager. Let's who's come there. They got the numbers and politics, and then corruption lah. Corruption is a big issue. Okay, it's something even without corruption, they will got all this hate. One boss hate another boss, but I think it's mostly related to corruption. Okay, corruption is a problem in Asia. Malaysia still a lot. But you see, the successful economies in Asia are the ones who manage to cut down corruption, like Singapore. I don't think there's any corruption in Singapore. Now, one guy who told me, because he's from Kuching, he went to Singapore for about 10 years, and he decided to come back homesick. He came back to Kuching. And then he said, Singapore, I never pay even 1 cent of corruption money, because he's a supplier. In Kuching, he cannot get any job without paying some level money. Okay. So there's few countries like South Korea, Singapore, Japan, they are very successful. It's because they somehow managed to cut the corruption. Okay. Corruption really damages companies. Okay. Like Cisco, one of the famous saying in the canteen, we order transformer, big boss will change the spec of the transformer. Different transformer come. Okay. That cannot work. That's how it works lah. That time when I was in Cisco. Now Cisco is quite clean lah. They clean it up. Okay. So that's why it's a very top company now. Okay. So all this corruption lah, I think is the biggest cause of companies not doing well. Okay. Petronas cleaned up the top. They still got a long ways to clean up the bottom. Okay, but the top is what I heard pretty much clean now. Okay. Okay. And then Of course, most of the high-tech companies like Maxis, they're pretty clean within the operation. Contractors, there are few, but most of the like road builders, I must say the West Malaysian ones are better. I'm Sorokin, but I'll say the West Malaysian ones are better. Okay. You see the Pen Borneo, the West Malaysian company that does, and they do a better job. Okay. It's all because of cheating. You know, the sand, the stone, all that supposed to be like that, they make it like that. Okay. Like that, make it like that. Okay. That's how the road in Sarawak so bad. Okay. And then there are different chemicals that can put inside the mixture that can make it even better. Okay. One guy claimed, one white man, I went to conference, said, you put this one, I tell you, can guarantee there will be no more holes in your road. Wow, so confident. Yeah. In KL, I met the guy, white man in KL. But yeah, 100%, I'm confident. He's an old man, so should be able to back up his claim. Okay. Okay. So there are things like this that's available out there, but sometimes contractors don't want to put. One thing, it costs a bit extra money to put the chemical. Second thing, they want the hole so they can repair and get more money. See, so the world works not as 2 plus 2 is 4. You know, sometimes there's illogical things coming up But if you live your life honestly, you make a good road. Okay, people respect you. Hey, this is a very good road now. Last so long now. Who built this one? Get that guy. Get another road built. Okay. Instead of you doing one road very bad with a lot of kamtao, cheating here and there, and then people won't respect you. You made maybe extra money, you could maybe double your normal profit on that road, but you won't get another job again. Okay, because people know the holes in the road. Okay, so that's how to do proper business Okay, if you get respect, and people will give you more jobs. That's the most important thing. Yeah, and I believe there is another thing in business. Because I study a bit of business because I was teaching a bit on this topic. You know Rockefeller. Okay. Rockefeller so far is the richest man in the history of the world. They say even you calculate from ancient time till now, nobody has been as rich as him. Okay. But some people say he's the most evil man possible. Other people say he's good. But one thing, good or bad, he did one thing. Because he's he's a Christian, and some Christians believe you must give 10% of your income to charity. Okay. So when he was poor, he gave 10%. When he became the richest man in the world, also 10%. The managers asked him, hey, how can so much? He said, if you don't give, you cannot get. I believe he believed that all the way, such that it became his business principle. He might do bad things, which a lot of people say he did a lot of bad things, but he knew this principle works. He gave 10% and he got much more than 10%. Okay, so so he was one of the biggest charity giver in history because he gave 10% of all his money to charity. He remained the richest man till now. Okay, why people say he's bad is because he's the one who started the oil industry, and then he killed every industry that tried to disturb his industry. Like the electric car industry was actually before the combustion engine car. Okay, so he killed the electric car industry, and then whatever tried to affect his business, he killed it. Okay, such that his business will be good. I give charity. Okay, 10% of all his money he gives charity. Okay, so that might be something for you to consider. Okay, I think it might seem illogical, but he really believed it, and he seems to have proven that it worked till now. Okay. Generally, business must be done by giving lah. You see, Google is now one of the richest company in the world. They give a lot of information. Oh, okay. They changed the whole world civilization because they gave all information for free to everyone. That's a whole lot of giving. And there are people who say Google very bad here and there. On the side, they're doing a lot of bad thing, but they still give. They still give, and then this Google Meet, they're giving for free, right? I didn't pay anything. I don't know if UTS pay something, but oh yeah, I think the UTS pay something. That's why I can record, because I do with my own account. I cannot record. So anyway, they give a lot of information and knowledge to the world, and they're very successful. Okay, so these are some principles you must think about. Okay, and then so that you don't make mistakes lah in your decisions when you go out and work. Okay, because right now there are a lot of bad decisions. Okay, mainly I would say due to corruption or maybe lack of knowledge. Okay, like you see, the two things I talked to you about today is about quality. Some people nobody told them about it, so they don't know there's such thing as quality. Okay, they see Apple, okay lah, cheapest Apple I buy lah. Okay, they never think of quality. Okay, but so huge difference in quality. Okay, if you buy the right Apple. Okay, that Apple, I don't know what chemicals I put inside to preserve it. I stopped buying the the Chinese New Year orange. I stopped buying. And why? I throw it outside my yard after a few months, still orange. Something is wrong. Okay, in my yard, a few months, still orange. How's that possible? There must be some chemical in there. Okay, so I mean, these are things you can obviously see. So I think the two reasons why bad decisions are made. One is due to corruption, one of the biggest thing, and second is due to lack of knowledge. Like I'm telling you about quality. Okay, you must respect quality, and that makes a big difference in your success or failure of your projects. Okay. Okay. So that's basically about class today lah. Okay, I tell you about two things. I mean, the main reason why companies fail is due to bad decisions. One reason for bad decision is lack of knowledge of the boss, okay, or decision maker, pretty much. Decision maker have lack of knowledge in a particular field. And number two is corruption. Okay, I see about equal cases of both happening. Okay, like Kodak died. Kodak was, I don't know if you know about Kodak. Kodak was a film company, just like Fuji film company. They were worldwide, everyone using Kodak. Now bankrupt. Why? Bad decisions. In that case, I don't think it's corruption. Kodak generally was a no corruption place, but lack of knowledge killed them. Yeah, lack of proper thinking. Okay. So and then the third thing, I guess, which is a bit funny, illogical, is the charity actually give them money. Rockefeller proved that. Okay, and Google seems to prove it again. Okay, Rockefeller is equal to Google. Okay. 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 They both are doing the giving and getting huge returns. Okay. So that's summarize of this today's topic lah. Okay. Bad decisions are due to corruption or lack of knowledge, or both. Okay. In a lot of cases, both. Okay, so at least I tell you about quality. Hopefully, that is one of the biggest thing lah. Lack of knowledge about the quality uh, is one of the biggest reasons why companies fail. Okay, okay lah. That's the end of class today.